Good morning and welcome back to Paradiso. I'm Jenny. In today's video, we're going to have a little chat. It's going to be just you and I and talking about some practical ways to help you feel better in your body, but by changing your brain first and then by activating the body second and seeing how they work together. So when you change your mind, your body moves differently, and then when you change your body, it helps with your brain. So it's like this lovely symbiotic relationship. So today what I would like you to do is think about me like I am your big sister. I'm a big sister of many siblings, and the one thing that I get called often is bossy. What I like to look at it more as a guide or a coach. I guess it doesn't feel like that to a young sibling when your big sissy is telling them to do something. But the skills that I honed basically helped me to teach and helped me to coach. So today I would just like to have a little chat with you. So in case you didn't know, I have a master's degree in teaching the arts. I am a big sister of 2 brothers and 2 sisters. The brother I talked to you about that I sadly lost, it was also younger than me. The way that my personality shows up for them or for the children or the adults that I have taught throughout my career, either in dance or in art, is a nurturing one. So I'm going to list a bunch of qualities. Okay, so nurturing. Some say bossy. I say a coach or a guide. Okay. We have a listener. So someone who is listening. So let's take, and loving. Let's give another 4. So we've got, we have a guide, we have a listener, we have a loving or nurturer, right? We have a strength. There's a level of strength and power. Now take all of those words that we just mentioned, and instead of giving it to your children or your husband or your coworkers or your boss or your best friend or your mom or your siblings or whoever, give it to yourself. Now take that personality, turn it completely around. So this is the mental side. So listening to your body. So how can you stimulate confidence by listening to your body? Well, believe it or not, you're hungry, you eat. You're not punishing yourself. You really want chocolate, you eat chocolate. You don't say, oh my God, I have to look this size, or even you aren't going to say, well, the doctor says I'm so healthy. So eating intuitively has been really helpful for me. I've had people say that's such bullcrap. Like if I ate intuitively, I would eat cheesecake for days. And in actuality, what happens with intuitive diets, and they did this test with children, what ends up happening is that the children eat the donuts and the cheesecake, pardon me, and then they start looking for the vegetables. But because the vegetables and the fruits aren't there, they're not eating it. So, for example, eat the cheesecake, but then start introducing yourself into things that are really good for you healthily. So, I've noticed that if I eat something that is high in carbohydrate with protein in the morning, it gives me energy through my day. I've also noticed that I am someone who needs to wait in the early parts of the day to eat. I just don't feel right eating, so I listen to that. So then later I have my carbohydrate and my protein. I have a little bit of caffeine, which is my tea every morning, and that's just intuitively the way that I like to eat. My body kind of works like a European. So that's one way to listen to your body. You need to go to sleep, you go to sleep. You need to take a longer shower than normal, you take a longer shower. You start to feel sluggish, you give yourself a little bit of encouragement. There's another word that you would give if you were a teacher or an older sister or what have you. You encourage, you support. So how could you support yourself? All of these words, turn them into yourself. So what I would like you to do as a little exercise is, if you nurture anybody in your life, again, a partner, a friend, a parent, someone who's sickly. Maybe you volunteer through your church or through an organization. Maybe your dad is ill, or maybe your dad is elderly and that's who you nurture. Maybe you have children, you nurture them. Maybe you're a teacher, maybe you are a nurse or a doctor and you nurture them. I would like you to write 5 ways that you show up for them. So again, going back, I said encouraging, supportive, nurturing, loving, good listener. Then what I want you to do is I want you to think about your body and your personality and your soul and your heart and all the things that make you tick. And I want you to write all the ways that you nurture that side. If you don't already, then this is what we could actually start to change. How can you start to change those? Nurturing. What do you need for nurturing? Is it really good food? Is it good sleep? Is it talk therapy? Is it movement therapy? Is it a new dance class? Is it a new group of friends? Is it a new hobby? What are those things outside of what we use for escapism? Right? There's a difference between nurturing and escapism. And I do it too. Sometimes I'm like, I have to go watch old reruns of Friends, and I will sit there for hours and watch it when I'm in a trauma response. I completely understand that. But the ways that we show up for ourselves are the other ways, right? It's okay to take a break and to zone out mindlessly, but to come back to yourself, just like you would a child who's like, Mom, Mom, Mom. How would you pay attention if you knew your body was calling out to you, Mom, Mom, Mom? So that's what I would like you to do. I would like you to make 2 columns, 5 words of how you show up for either clients, co-workers, spouses, partners, etc. And then on the next side, corresponding, I want you to write how you do that exact word and show up with that exact word for yourself. So that's the first part. Okay, so that's how changing the mind is going to help the body. So now let's do the second part, which is how the body can help change the mind. So I have been told since I was a teenager that I always had an amazing amount of confidence and excuse me, and that I know myself and I'm unabashedly myself. And my friends and I were talking yesterday, and we had to describe each other with 1 or 2 words, and that was sort of the theme that kept coming through mine, is like an immense amount of self-confidence. I find it interesting because why do more people not have self-confidence? Where does that come from? And what I learned is when I was younger, I felt hideous. I thought I was one of the least attractive people on the planet. I thought that there were beautiful girls and then there was me. I thought there were beautiful bodies and then there was mine. I had no idea that I was super talented in dance. I had no understanding that I was really intelligent and intellectual. I didn't know any of these things. The thing that helped me to become confident is, of course, having a very loving mom who thinks that everything I do is amazing. But what I've realized is from that step, and not everybody is lucky enough to have that. We have people that are in trauma. We have people that grew up in very, very abusive households. We grew up with people that lived in seemingly normal households, and they turned out to be fairly critical, and so there's all these wounds that we're trying to fix. And a lot of the wounds will really, really make you believe something. So one of the ways we can use the body to create this sort of self-confidence and give back to ourselves and really nurture ourselves is to give the body what it wants. One of the reasons, somebody said, well, why were you inspired to use belly dance to stimulate healing and wellness and a feeling of confidence in women? Like, why did you pick that? And I said, well, to be honest, it found me, right? I learned belly dance when I was 7. And I was like, this is it. This is my thing, And how often do people who are children discover something and they say, this is my thing? I have always used my instincts to follow my path. That's a lie. I have not always. I try to always employ my instincts in order to move through my path. When I signed up to go back to school full time, I was going to be practical and go and finish my education degree. At the time, I just had an associate's, and I took a vacation by myself, started to paint. I changed my major to painting right then and there. And one of my biggest regrets in life is that I didn't follow my educational path in dance. And that is like one time that I really, really departed from my instincts. I did what everybody told me to do. Oh, you'll never be able to find a real job, and you're not going to be able to support yourself. You have to maintain a very skinny physique. And I really, really, really should not have listened to all of those outside voices, including my own, because I know where my talent lies. But where my passion lies goes beyond just dance. When people were practicing this dance, most people from the Middle East countries and Arabic countries believe that this is the cultural dance that was started from whichever country that they are in. But if you dig really deep, this is something that was practiced through tribes of women before we even knew what the lands were called. They were just tribes at the time. And women's bodies were utilitarian. They were used for purpose, to create children, to make medicine, to hunt, to swaddle children, to swaddle elderly, to, remember, these were matriarch times. Women were in charge. Women were the boss. Women were the ones that ruled. So we were doing a lot of very important work. Our bodies weren't meant to be looked at and admired. Our bodies were meant to do the job well. So if you take into consideration that we can go back to a time when our bodies were just supposed to do well, you can remember what you do well. So I'm going to have you do a second exercise where I want you to write down what your body can do well. If it is, my sister jokes all the time. She goes, no matter what I bake or cook, I cannot make brownies. She goes, I don't know why. I said, well, that's not your thing, right? Belly dance is my thing. What's your thing? Maybe it's you cook a hamburger better than anybody else on the planet. Maybe you're an amazing golfer or a runner or a yogi, or maybe it's something less physical that still is a physical activity, like you're a great gardener or you're an amazing hugger. What is it? Maybe you make the best potato salad in all the land. What is it that your body is doing that is really, really good? Do you run an amazing bath? What is it? Do you sing? Do you shampoo hair really well, cut hair, style hair? Do you dress really fantastic and all your friends are like, oh, she's the one with the style? Are you the best organizer? Are you the one that can move things from here to there and make it look really nice? I want you to come up with 3 things that you do really, really, really well using your body. And that could be your tangible body, like your muscles. It could be your voice box. It could be a look. It could be a touch. It could be, think about all your senses. Next, we're going to think about, one of the reasons that I haven't gotten to of why I use belly dance to help people feel good is it is a combination of core strength with expression. There are very few activities that you can feel incredibly beautiful and powerful at the exact same time. There are some things like aerial arts, for sure, ballet, absolutely, and there are other forms of sensual movement that combines it. But one of the things that I love is when you're belly dancing, you're rooting your feet, you're stable, you are your own stability. And so many people in our culture and with a patriarchy, it's like, well, you're nobody unless you have a man telling you that you're worth it, or telling you that you're beautiful and sexy, or you're nobody unless you, are considered the best mom or the best, whatever your work is. And in reality, you're the best because you are you. Are you better than the person next door? No. Are you better than your friend? No. But are you the best for you? 1000%, or you wouldn't be made like this. So, how can we access physically the other way around? So, what I want you to do is I'm going to give you a physical exercise. And what I would like you to do is while you are activating your core with some core exercises and releasing your expressive movements through belly dance, you're going to be speaking it, thinking it, singing it, or what have you. So for example, I'll be doing my exercise and I'll be like, I am a great belly dancer. I love to belly dance. Belly dance makes me happy. When I share belly dance, I feel so good inside, right? And then I'll think of the next thing. I happen to be a great teacher. Okay, and I can say these with abandon. Like, ask me if I am an amazing housekeeper. No, I'll tell you right away. No, I'm a procrastinator. I know when I am really good at something and when I am not. And it's not being arrogant, it's being loving, to really, really rejoice and to feel amazing about the things that you're great at and the things that you love and the things that you're passionate about. My best friend always calls me the professor. She always says, oh, here she goes, professing. She's professing. Yes, I profess because I want everybody to have a slice of the pie. If I am one of the most confident people that people know, I want you to be the most confident people that the people around you know. And that's what I like to share with you. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you a physical exercise. And during that time, I want you to think about what we put on the second activity. What is it that you physically do well? And we're going to affirm the out of it, okay? All right, hang on. Okay, so here is the part that you're going to be using your body. Why is the belly dance stand so important? Because when you're standing with locked limbs, A, you can hurt yourself and have injuries. Two is your balance is reliant on the surface. When you root your feet and sink into the ground, you are connecting to the earth. You're really rooting yourself. And when you soften your knees, you are able to explore the space around you. Then when you tuck your tailbone up and under and bring your pelvis forward, you are again activating the power, and that's what we really want to talk about, okay? So here are the exercises that you're gonna do while you're going to give those affirmations to yourself. I'll give you an example. So we're going to shimmy. If you forget how to do it, go down several videos and go ahead and watch one of them. You're going to just lift your arms up and down, shimmy. You can move side to side, you can move front. So here's what I would do. I would put a timer on for 5 minutes. I am a great belly dancer. I think it's amazing that I started to belly dance when I was 7 years old. I am so grateful to the universe that I found belly dance at such a young age. I feel like I'm connected to ancestors when I belly dance. I love that I have a passion for helping women feel good. I really, really, really think it's an amazing thing that my body is curvy. It helps me to do the job better. I can shimmy more meat. I could feel really strong in my very tight abs. I think it's amazing that other women can feel beautiful about themselves simply by listening to my words and my actions. I love that a woman can express this beautiful movement in her body while maintaining her core. I think it's amazing that the sun shines every single day and that it allows me to dance every single day, whether I'm teaching a class, whether I'm walking and I'm imagining a choreography. Okay, so you get what happened is, and I'm going to tell you this in truth, what essentially happened was that I started to accidentally fall into this gratefulness pattern. I started looking at the sun and I was like, oh God, what a beautiful day. I started sweating and thinking, oh, I moved to the climate that works best for me. I started to look around and listen to the birds, and it started to create this gratefulness in my body because I was moving it, right? I was gracefully moving my arms up and down. So all I wanted you to do is the shimmy. If you want to do it slower, do it slower. If you want to do it faster, do it faster. If you want to do it a little bit more complex because you know how or you were introduced, do it. But the only reason for this particular exercise is to connect the core strength and the softness. I hope that helps. I hope that you could take the time to do this exercise. I know this isn't teaching you how to do beautiful snake arms. This is a little bit more like your big sis coming at you to help you feel really good about yourself. And yes, it is tapping into this ancestral rooted practice that we have at our disposal. If I can share more, I will. So I hope this helps. Please try it. Let me know in the comments how you like it. So very much for watching, and thank you always for your support, for liking the videos, and for subscribing to this channel, as I hope to help all of you feel absolutely amazing in your bodies, hearts, minds, spirits through ancient movement. Also with some helpful tips from somebody who has been dancing for her entire life and loves movement and really feels that it helps you feel better about everything in life. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys again.